I said, and if you don't know enough about me, look at my record, look at what I've done. And then when they see what I've done in some of my other roles across New Jersey, they often, I let the results speak for themselves. You know?
For sure. How do you balance all those roles though? Like you're working for the Cancer Foundation, you're being a mayor, you're doing other things within the city, whether it's just Morristown, whether it's Camden. Like, do you ever find yourself getting like burned out, or you're not to that stage yet because you're like still super young?
Yeah.
Or like, is it sometimes it's overwhelming? Like, what's your how do you balance?
So, played in Division I football. You know, you get conditioned to wake up at 6 a.m., go to bed at 9, and do it all over again the next day. So, here I am at 6 years removed from college. I still think I'm doing the same thing, man. Just on the same schedule, staying organized. Can it be tiring at points? Sure. But I'm privileged to be at the point in my life where I don't have kids right now.
Right.
I have a beautiful girlfriend, and I hope one day we can start a family. But I'm not at that point yet.
Yeah.
So I'm going to work hard. And I'm going to let my youth be an advantage for me and show folks that, I have the time, I have the energy. Let me show up for my community. And often people see that and they respect it. And it's allowed me to get more experience and allow me to do this job at a higher level, in my opinion.
And to stick on like the age thing, do you think we should have like across the board, not just in New Jersey, but just like across the country, do you think we should would you like to see like younger people in positions of power like you are, like when it comes to like, or us say service, not power, but public service when it comes to being a mayor or an elected official, whether it be a congressman, whatever it may be?
Yeah. So what I would say is absolutely. But remember what we said earlier. Right. It's really tough for young people to get involved because it's a time commitment. Yeah. And if it's not paying, you're then at that point asking a young person to pick between public service or building a life for themselves. Yeah. Right. And if you're someone like me, I grew up with parents that were teen parents. To this day, they still work very hard for their money. They didn't go to college or anything like that. So, for us, we're trying to build wealth. We're trying to, build a life for ourselves and our family that was better than the ones that we experienced. When you put someone in that position to say, hey, do you want to take these next 5 years, or do you want to spend your 20s building your career? That way your 30s, you can have kids and travel the world and do all the things you want to do. Or do you want to spend your 20s running for office and, being an elected official, getting paid $5,000 a year? Yeah. Most people pick the former, you know what I mean?
For sure.
So it's, for me, I made the decision because I'm a third generation Morristonian. My grandmother, she moved into Morristown in the early 70s. She was the second person to live in her home. She lived on a street, Farmdale Road. Farmdale Road was built in the 50s to expand black housing in Morristown because realtors would not sell to black residents in other neighborhoods. So there was a developer that said, all right, RCA, which is now Lockheed Martin in Morristown, had a DEI program back then. Really? They had a DEI program to hire black engineers. So they had all of these black engineers, but they couldn't live in Morristown because they couldn't find a place to live. No realtor would sell them a home. This is in the 50s and the 60s. So they built Farmdale Road. My grandmother was the second person in her house. She had 2 kids. She was working 4 jobs just to get her house in Morristown, and did her best to raise 2 kids, my dad and my aunt.